The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandy Anastasi, and I want to welcome you to my Psychic Hour. Folks, we do this Psychic Hour monthly. It's always free. You'll find me here doing psychic readings and giving information from my guides. Everyone who's on the call, listen. Even if you don't get a reading, you're going to get a reading because my guides are listening to your guides and they're listening to everyone's needs on this call. So the people who do get called on will be answered in such a way that the information given to them is going to help you. So hang in there until the end. Make sure you hear all of the readings that I'm going to be doing online this evening. You'll find Lisa, my assistant, in the chat room, and she is going to be able to take a look at any questions that you put into the chat area. And if you put those questions, actually, I think it's where it says questions. I think it's the question area. And if you write your questions into that area, if you're a little shy and you're afraid to raise your hand, if Lisa sees a lot of people asking the same kind of question or a question that's very pertinent to a lot of people, she will definitely call on you, even though you've only put that question in writing. So if you're a little shy and you don't want to talk, feel free to write your questions in writing. Let me explain, for those of you who are new to my Psychic Hour, how this works. First off, obviously, I'm going to be doing psychic readings right here online. Those readings are being channeled from my guides and me. I'm going to hit as many people as I possibly can as we go through this next hour. And it's my pleasure to call on you and ask you, what is your name? And I only need a first name, a last if you want to give it, but a first name is fine. Where you are calling from, because we love to hear where everybody is from. We get callers here from all over the world. We also want to know what you're most grateful for this evening. And we want to know what your sun sign is, because this Psychic Hour chart that you see on the screen in front of you, if you're on the computer with me, will give me information about you, because this chart tells me a little bit about everyone who's on this call. You see, by calling in tonight, this, what we call horary astrological chart, gives information on what's going on in everyone who's here tonight's lives. So you're going to get information directly from this chart by telling me what your sun sign is. So again, I'm going to ask you your name, where you're calling from, what your sun sign is, what you're most grateful for right now, and then ask me your question. And I think you're going to be absolutely thrilled with the information that comes through. We get so many diverse questions, and it's always educational and enlightening for me as well as for you. So I'm very grateful myself to be able to be here this evening with all of you and be able to transmit this information to you. A couple of announcements as we get started. You are going to want to make a note that the next Psychic Hour is going to be on July 10th. So it comes up early this coming month. It's July 10th at 9 p.m. Also, my next online webinar, I do these webinars monthly. There is a small charge. They're $25. They're educational. There's always a wonderful guided meditation at the end of the webinar. The next webinar is on July 28th at 8 p.m., and it's on the law of attraction, but it's a different way of approaching it than what you've maybe read about or heard, because not only am I going to be giving you a better insight into just what it is, for those of you who aren't aware, I'm also going to be telling you how you can use it to create the life that you've dreamed of living, to create the life that you really want to live. Okay, so that's the law of attraction, how to make use of that law in your life on July 28th, 8 p.m. Now, the other thing I have coming up that I'm super excited about, for the second year in a row, I'm taking the Anastasi system of psychic development. And yes, that is the very system that many, many psychics all over the world who are really well known and very well respected have studied with to be able to create a lucrative and successful and helpful career for the people that they work with. And that Anastasi system is going online starting July 6th. So if you're looking for the next step in your own personal education, if you think you're psychic, or even if you don't think you're psychic but you'd like to develop your abilities, it's the time to start. You will learn. This is going to be my second time through the class online, and I can tell you from the people I spoke with last year and taught last year online, it works. It is just as effective online as it is in person. I've been teaching that class for 38 years nonstop in person. And to be able to take it online and be able to reach people all over the world, in Australia, in Belgium, in London, in Canada, in, oh God, all over the world, Newfoundland. It was just amazing to have so many people that could actually learn telepathy and empathy, how to open their heart centers, how to channel and connect with their guides, how eventually to even do mediumship. So the ability to do all those things is now in your living room, just as clearly as you're hearing me now. When I do that class, you actually get to see me. You get a video that you work with during the week, and you get to see me weekly. Every week we work together. It's as close to one-on-one as you can get. Very intimate, very comfortable, and yes, you actually get to do it, and you get real training and a certification at the end, which incidentally is going to be all the way in the middle of December. So I'm hoping that if there's anybody here online with me tonight that wants to study with me, that you're hearing this loud and clear. The time to join my program is now. It starts July 6th. And I'm offering a special discount right now for those people who are on this call with me, who are taking the psychic hour. If you contact Lisa within the next week before this, or a week and a half before the program begins, and you tell her you heard about it on the psychic hour, you got to tell her that, she will give you $100 off the full cost of the program, and she will give you, if you choose to also get her psychic reading with me, whatever reading it is, $50 off that reading. So there are two really good specials that I'm offering for people who are here tonight. Why? Because, folks, I can't tell you how much I enjoy doing the psychic hour. You folks who come and meet with me here monthly are just oh so very special. I love meeting with you. I love being here with you. And let's get started. Lisa, who is our first caller? Who's the first person with a question for me this evening?
Okay, the first person I'm going to unmute is Allison. Allison, you're unmuted.
Hello, Allison. Allison, you are muted on your end. Allison, you are muted. There you go. Yeah, hello, Allison.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yay. I'm from Newport, Rhode Island, and I'm a Cancer, and I'm grateful for the internet so we can have meetings such as this where we can connect. My question is, a lot of things have been happening to me, and I'm trying to find out, I'm trying to discover if I am becoming a medium or if I'm going to have another career in the metaphysical.
Yeah, Allison, I'm really kind of getting a kick out of your question. You just said that you are a Cancer, correct? So please,
That's correct.
yeah, please follow my little pointer here. This sign right here is the sign Cancer, It's on the seventh house cusp, which tells me, incidentally, that in your personal life, you're a little concerned about your one-on-one relationships right now and your family. But in this chart, look at the second house. The second house in astrology is all about how you earn your money, how you earn your living, what your natural talents and abilities are. And we've got Neptune, South Node, Chiron, and the Moon all in Pisces, the psychic sign. Pisces is one of the medium signs. And I would say that you probably have been blessed to have a lot of psychic ability naturally and to have had many mediumship types of experiences, things like, dreaming about somebody either just before or just after they passed, maybe seeing somebody that nobody else is seeing out of the corner of your eye. Those are experiences that probably aren't new to you. You probably had them all of your life, but because of these transits that are going on right now, with Neptune moving through Pisces especially, you are having this enhanced experience. Your psychic abilities are being stepped up. So your question is, if you wanted to change careers, would you be able to make a living at being a psychic or a medium? Well, the second house is about how you earn your money. Do you see this? And if I look at
I see
Cancer
that.
as your first house, your second house is Leo. So the biggest thing that would stop you isn't your ability. It's the fear of how other people would see you. Now, I'm sorry to drop that on you. Okay? But
No, it's true because I always seek validation from everybody.
of course. And that's because that's what Leo does. Leo, and I'm sorry, anybody who's on the call who's a Leo, it is a Leo trait to really, really, really want to please everyone. And because as a Leo, you tend to be so outer directed and you want everyone to be happy and like what you're doing, you become the people pleaser. So it is your tendency to want to please people in your career, in the way that you make money. You want to go out there and you want to make sure that your parents, quote unquote, even though you might be 60 years old, you want to make sure that your parents still approve of what you're doing. And even if your parents aren't around anymore, you want your husband to approve of what you're doing and your kids to approve of what you're doing, because that Leo on what would be your second house cusp here wants that approval, you see? But what's interesting is, see, Jupiter and the North Node are in here, and this is the discernment for yourself. If you can find your own center, you know what I mean when I talk about that, you're no longer focusing your attention outward, looking for approval. You're recognizing that ultimately the only real approval you need is from yourself. If you can find that center of self-approval, self-recognition, this little planetary connection, the Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo here, that is going to have you be the feet on the ground person, the practical psychic, the one who is discerning and discriminating and doesn't just talk off your head and proves that what you are saying is accurate and is real. And guess what? You will then have earned your own respect. And once you earn your own respect, everyone else will respect you. Isn't that interesting? So you're saying, can I do this as a medium? Absolutely. You have natural talent and ability. You're saying, could I earn my living that way? Absolutely. The second house in this chart says it's a great way for you to earn a living. The only thing really holding you back is what are other people going to think?
Okay.
Can you get yourself
Perfect. I know what to work on.
I think you can, right? Get yourself past that?
I think I can.
Good. I want to share a little story. People, you are going to laugh. You're going to laugh. I was 40 years old. I had already set the Anastasi system of psychic development in motion. It was already a 12-year-old system. I had already taught John Edward, who was out practicing mediumship on a worldwide level and had lots of respect. And my mother would say to me, Sandy, when are you going to get a real job? Okay? So I just want to tell you that if you wait for the recognition of the people who set themselves up in your life as being your parent in some way, shape, or form, what you do is you turn your personal power over to that person. And they learn pretty quickly. All they have to do is withhold recognition, and they get you to jump through hoops. So it's very important to only really look for that recognition from yourself. And I'm going to say, once again, half of the people that I taught when I was in my 30s would never, ever have become mediums or psychics. And many of them were world-renowned, have written books, have gone on to teach countless other people. Guess what? They would not have done that if I listened to my mother and got a real job.
Right.
Okay? I think I made my point.
Exactly.
There's
Yes,
something else.
you did. Thank you so much.
If you follow your heart, and I don't mean, I don't mean your need or what you think you want, but your real heart. When you really center and feel what is it inside that I truly am meant to do. When you're in touch with that and you follow your heart, that heart is always, every time, going to lead you not only to what you want, but to what you're going to be good at, to what you're going to find joy in, and to what you're going to be able to support yourself on. Okay? Thank you very, very much for the question. I think it was a great one. It was a really good way to start our psychic hour off. Thanks.
Thank you.
Lisa, who's our next person?
Okay, our next person, if I can find her again, is Pearl. Pearl, you are unmuted.
Hello, Pearl. How are you? Pearl, I'm not hearing you. I think you may be self-muted. Nope, I'm not hearing you, but your mic is unmuted. I'm wondering if your device is not working properly. Lisa, I'm thinking we're going to have to go on to somebody else and see if Pearl can't work that problem out, okay?
Alrighty. Well, the next person I'm going to unmute is Kathy. Kathy, you are unmuted.
Hi there, Sandy and Lisa. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, except I have a barking dog in the background.
I might have that also. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited. I'm from Long Island, New York. Right now, I'm grateful that school has ended for my two boys. We just ended on Friday, so we're starting some on vacation. So I'm very grateful for that. I am a Pisces, and I'm right now looking for some insight to my career and financial future.
And I'm going to direct you back to my chart here, my horary chart. Here you are as a Pisces. Your sun actually is falling on the cusp. You see this line of the house of communication. So communication should definitely be something you work into your career choice, the focus of where you're going to be able to earn your money and make a good living. Now, if we look at this, most of the second house, there's how you earn your living. And it's mostly in Pisces. Neptune, South Node, Chiron, the healing planet, Moon in Pisces. I don't know what your current profession is. With Aquarius on the cusp of this house, it feels like you do something that involves people and is very, very mental, intellectual. I would love, looking at what I see here, to see you doing something that involves, ready for this? Hold on, healing. Now, that's broad. That could be counseling. That could be massage therapy. That could be energy healing. That could be mediumship and healing people from their losses. So the key here is that because you have Neptune, which is your ruling planet, going through your sign right now, you are feeling the need to do something that's important, to do something that you were born to do something that makes a difference in the world. And if you work on something or at something that is just a junk job, it's just a way to make money, or it's okay, it brings in the paycheck, but I don't feel like I'm making a difference. Because of that feeling, you're going to feel dissatisfied with the work that you're doing. So what you need to do is to look at that work and say, how is what I'm doing bringing some relief or bringing some help to the world, to the people around me? And not only will you start to be able to make a lot more money than you're making right now, but you're going to be a lot happier with what you're doing. Okay? Now let me see what I've got a layout of cards in front of me here, and I want to see what they're telling me is that I've got to empower you, my friend. Do you realize what a strong woman you are?
Thank you. Sometimes I can acknowledge that.
Yeah, because you've been, I'm sorry, but you've been going through a few years now. Neptune went into Pisces in 2012. And since you're in early Pisces, at least that's what my guide's telling me, early planets in the sign, you really probably started feeling that around 2010, not just 2012, before the planet even hit the sign. And you've been going through disillusionment. You've been going through people dying, people moving away, people just yelling at you. You've been being stripped bare. Sorry about stripping you bare online, but you've been getting stripped bare and really had to reevaluate every single aspect of your life. And the bad part about that is that when you go through that time period in life, you get cut down so much that you lose your feeling of strength, your feeling of who you are, your feeling of that inner knowledge that you can accomplish and you can do anything. It's being eroded. But the good part is that after you get done, I've got to say what they're telling me. The good part is that after you're done losing it all and there's nothing left to lose, man, do you find out what's really important, who's important, and you get this backbone that is absolutely amazing that you can walk through fire. Are you there yet, honey?
Not yet.
Really close, though, aren't you? Really close.
I think so.
Yeah. The biggest thing that's left to go, and I know this wasn't your question, but the biggest thing that's left to go is your expectation of a man around you. Okay? And that's not necessarily that he doesn't want to help or be there. It may just be that your expectation is more than he can accomplish.
Okay.
Okay? So your part of your finding your backbone and your strength is you're stepping up and saying, I will take care of this and worry about his ego later. Okay? Now,
Okay.
as far as you, will you have the job you want by the end of this year? Let's ask a simple question. And my guides are saying yes, you will. But it's going to be difficult getting there. And that's not it's not because you can't, and it's not because you're not good, and it's not because the opportunity's not there. It's because you're going to have to walk through your fears to get there.
Okay.
Okay? Did that help, I hope?
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, and I want to apologize because, my guides seem to be doing something a little interesting tonight. You're asking a question, but they're answering something a little different.
It's okay. I might not have been asking the right questions.
Well, I usually try to keep it more on track than that, but I think there have been some important things coming out, and I want to say thank you and thank your guides for allowing me to bring that out again. I think it helps a lot of people when sometimes things feel like they're very broad, but they're that way because they're helping so many different people who are on the call. And guess what? That says you're not the only one who's going through this soul searching right now. Okay?
Right.
and who's had all kinds of things that you thought you could trust and count on break down in your life. And what you're really doing is you're being pushed back into that corner where you're going to find out what you're really capable of doing, and it's going to surprise the whole world, not just you. Okay?
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. They're also showing me simple things. They're showing me a clipboard of all things, and they're showing me you walking around with that clipboard. And I think what that's telling me is that it's very, very important for you to be paying attention to details right now. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for calling in. And Lisa, who's our next person?
Well, I think maybe Pearl has her mic figured out, so we're going to
Okay.
call her again. Pearl,
Hello,
you are
Pearl.
unmuted.
Hello, Pearl. Did you get that mic unmuted? Once again, I'm not hearing you. I've got my mic turned all the way up. Lisa, I'm still not able to get hold of her. Did she type her question into the chat room? That's our next best solution here.
I have her next solution, and it's called Joshua.
Okay.
He's typing in the chat room.
Awesome.
Joshua, you are unmuted.
Hello, I'm Josh. I'm a Capricorn,
Hello.
and
Pleasure to meet you.
I can take my mom's question if that works.
That's perfect.
Okay, here she is.
Hi, Sandy. Can you hear me now?
I can. Hey, there's more than one way to skin a cat, isn't there?
Hi.
I gotta tell you, this is the first time that anyone has found this particular solution on my psychic hour. That's great. So, Pearl, what's your sun sign?
Can you hear me?
Yes. What's your sign?
Okay. Hi, Sandy. I've been seeing you for over 15 years, and I just think you're wonderful, and I love that you're doing the psychic hour again. I'm a Taurus, and I am grateful for my family. And my question to you is, I recently started a business with my mom, and I'm wondering how that's going to go.
Okay. I'm going to ask the most obvious question. Is Josh going to be a part of that business?
He has helped out, yes.
Because that's important. You're going to need him. but I feel like it's going to be very, very successful. And I also see an offer of some kind coming. And it's from a male who's younger than you. I don't think this one is Josh, but it feels like something that you're needing. It might be a customer, but it's something that you're needing to get you started. Is you're looking for the option, or you're looking for the money, you're looking for something that needs to come your way, and it is going to be offered, and that's just absolutely wonderful. I also want to point out, I think this is kind of fun. I love to direct people to the astrology. Here we are, looking at my cursor again. You said you're a Taurus, right here in the bottom of the chart. This fourth house is the house of family. And you said immediately you're grateful for your family. And this is also the house particularly of the mother, and you're going into business. Taurus rules money and stuff with your mother. I love it. I just love astrology. And it's so much fun to watch this when it plays out as a Hori chart here. So I like to give people astrology lessons while they're on here with me. Pearl, that was great. Thank you so much. And I'm expecting that business to be very successful. And I do think that Josh is going to be maybe a bigger part of it than you realize and than he realizes that he's going to be.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. And Josh, thanks for helping out. And Lisa, who's our next caller?
Okay, our next person is going to be Carmen. Carmen, you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi, Carmen.
Oh, hi, you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
So, excellent. I'm a Virgo, and I'm in Warilla in New South Wales, Australia, and it's very cold. I'm very grateful for my kids and my husband and all the teachers that have come along in my path and my guides. And just, I love the sun and the ocean and the earth and the moon. You know, I just love being a part of nature. So I'm really grateful for that. My question today is, and by the way, you've already answered so many of my questions. It's been wonderful. The number 11. Everywhere on almost every time I look up from the car in front of me has the number 11. Every time I look at the clock, it's either 9:11 or 11:11 or 3:11.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you.
I see it in phone numbers. I see it in
Yeah, I'm kidding.
signs
Hello.
every day for months now, and I would like to know what is it for me that.
Yep, I'm laughing. I'm just
That's my question.
laughing.
I'm done. Yep.
Yep, I've got to find you on here.
Hello?
I can hear. Lisa.
Hello?
Lisa, can you mute her on her side so we don't get the mic feedback? I can't find her name. Yep. Okay. I wanted you to know that I did get that, and what was kind of interesting, I want to direct everybody's attention to this. She is asking an extremely important question, and the more excited she got about it, the more energy was coming through the line with her. And what we were experiencing with all that mic feedback wasn't just because she's in Australia and I'm in the US, and it was certainly not because other mics are open online, because everything online is closed down except for her mic and my mic. What that was the energy of the excitement, the energy of her guides coming through with such intensity. We want to get this through to her. We want to get this through to her. And I wanted to point that out because as I do psychic readings for people all over the world, most of them on phone or on Skype, and this is not uncommon, especially when somebody who's passed or somebody who's a very powerful guide comes through, not uncommon to get that mic feedback at all. And I do think that's what we were having just then. Now, what she wanted to know is all about that number 11, okay? And Carmen, I'm going to do my best. First of all, the number 11 is a master number. In numerology, anytime you get a double digit, it's a master number. But all of the master numbers break down to a single digit, i.e. 11 is a 1 plus 1, so it breaks down to a 2. So all the master numbers will break down to a single digit if they're not being carried out in a selfless fashion. So the number 2 is all about relating. It's about relationship. It's about tit for tat, yin and yang, opposites working together. It's about real physical plane associations and relationships of all kinds. But when we raise that number to the number 11, now it becomes that concept where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Now you have the potential for a relationship or a goal or working for a company or an ideal where two individuals who are coming together, both working and contributing at 100%, can end up equaling 500% because both of them are acting in a selfless fashion. So you're being told with all those 11s either that this is where you're at in life or that this needs to be one of your goals to bring that 2 vibration that you're so good at up to an 11 vibration where you'll be given 100%, but so will the people you associate with be giving their 100%. Okay? Is that making sense? And Lisa, please unmute her now so she can talk.
It is, yeah, a lot of sense, definitely.
Good. And I also wanted to point out, since you're a Virgo, here you are in this 8th house. Jupiter is right conjunct this North Node. You really have big, big things happening in your world right now. Please pay attention to the opportunities around you. And again, I would say that fits right in with that number 11 because things in your life are coming together. They're lining up. And you're going to be able to develop commitments, associations, take that next step to whatever your success is in a way that you have never been able to do before. That option is in front of you right now. Since this is also in this chart's 8th house, this could have something to do with big business or with someone else's money or finance or with a will or with, if you were, for example, in the finance business, it could have to do with that, or it could do with mediumship if you're focusing in that direction, because this 8th house rules all of those things.
Okay, great.
Did we get it for you?
Yeah. I've got tons more. Everything is soaking in, and there's a lot of questions, but I'm also just trying to let it all just work itself out as well.
Good.
Well, yeah. It's just that I'm working out whether I really need to just go out on my own and do my own thing, which is going back to being a healer, a psychic healer, or if I am supposed to be staying with my husband and building the business with him that he's doing, which is in the vegetable growing business. So that's where I'm at the moment.
Okay, now this begins to make sense, because what your guides are showing you is that whatever you do has to be 100%.
Okay.
So if you and your husband are going to work in the vegetable business together, which frankly you could enjoy and could be extremely lucrative, because Virgo has a lot to do with the ground and agriculture. But you and he would both have to give it your 100% to make that successful and make it work. On the other hand, if you went into your psychic healing business, the 8th house does rule everything pertaining to the practice of metaphysics, including psychic healing. So you're having doors open for you in both of those areas. Doors are opening for your psychic healing practice. Doors are opening for your vegetable business. And you're having such a difficulty because you know intuitively that neither one of them can ever be the peak of its potential unless you can give it 100% of yourself. So my advice to you, and thank you for being so direct, my advice to you is that you, even more than the first caller, you need to really get in touch with yourself. I'm going to suggest some meditation. I'm going to suggest that maybe you get away from both the healing and the agriculture for a time, maybe take a week vacation or 4 days off, and go play with some friends. And when you come back, focus your attention not on the external requirements or expectations of other people. Focus your attention on your own heart. What is it that you really want to be doing?
And if I choose to do what I want to do, is that selfish? Is that a selfless act? If I choose to just do my own practice? Because I'm just confused about the message. I thought maybe I need to be selfless and just do what my husband wants to do at the moment.
Well, then wouldn't he be being selfish? Who's going to be more selfish? I'm sorry. I'm going to put my feet on the ground for you. Looking at this from and this, I hate to do this, but I need to. Looking at this not from his desire versus my desire point of view. Looking at this from a where do I want myself and my family to be in 5 years point of view, and which profession is going to get us there.
Okay.
Because
that answers my question.
But it's quite possible that neither one of them is going to get you there, in which case something that will is going to present itself, and you need to be open to that.
Okay.
The beauty of this is that if you are in the right place, doing the right thing, all of the things that you want to do are going to fall into place for you. And you are going to be able to develop your own business, and he is going to be able to have his vegetables, and you are going to be able to do your healing, and you are going to be mutually supportive of one another, and you are going to support the whole family because you've opened to possibility. And you're not narrowing it down saying mine or yours.
That's perfect.
You got it?
Got it. Thank you. That's
Good.
perfect.
Good luck. And thank you for
Thank you.
sharing. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Who is our next caller, Lise?
All right, our next caller is going to be Tanya. Or Tanya, you're unmuted.
Hello. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Hi, hello.
Okay,
Hi,
there you
Sandy.
are. Good.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I am a Sagittarius, and my question is, I've been doing a lot of changes with my life, and I think for the better, simplifying, looking at things, what I like to do, like everything that I can, just to understand what is my purpose and what should I do with my life. And at the same time, I'm not physically well, and it just developed recently. And I'm a little bit confused because I'm thinking that I'm at the point in my life where I did so much work with myself, and now I'm in a position where I have to put a lot of focus to be healed and to get better, as opposed to being involved in so many things that I decided I'm gonna do for myself. How does it work with us getting sick and going through life and doing our mission?
You know, you're asking some very complex questions here, but it really is an important question. I'm trying to. My guides are giving me this. My guides and your guides are giving me this information and this giant, like, gulp of understanding, and I'm trying to take a minute and get it into words that you're going to be able to understand and that aren't going to be unhelpful. I want to be helpful to you. But apparently, you are the gal who has spent her entire life giving everything you've got to other people. You didn't tell us that, but that's there. So you've been, Lisa, we're getting some feedback on her mic, so if you wouldn't mind turning the mic down, we'll unmute her when my guys are done giving the information. Okay? You are this wonderful, wonderful sharing, giving person who almost knows what another person needs or wants before they know it themselves. So in all of your relationships with your family, with your husband, with the people around you, with the people you work with, you've been that person who was always there to be the caretaker, to put out for them, to do what they wanted. And what has happened in the last few years is you've realized that you need to put time for yourself into the world. You can't continue to be everything to everyone if you're not happy and comfortable and secure and doing things for yourself. So you've begun to reclaim that which really was supposed to be yours all along. So the pendulum was all the way in the giving direction with nothing coming to you. And now you're trying to swing it back into the receiving direction so that you get some of this good stuff that's been going out. Now, the first thing I'm hearing is, aren't you glad you finally woke up? The second thing I'm hearing is, your biggest problem is you waited too long. You started to get this feeling of resentment about the giving and the sharing and nothing coming back, or at least not enough coming back. You started to get that feeling a long time ago. It was maybe 7 or 8 years ago. But you being you and you're a superwoman, and you kept giving and you kept sharing. And it wasn't until maybe 3 years ago, and now the resentments had built up, that you started saying, no, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to take time for me to do this. I'm ahead of the game now. The thing is, you waited too long. So one aspect of you are getting sick is because you pushed yourself too hard for too long, and you didn't look at those early warning signs that said you need to have all these good things for yourself as well. You can't just keep giving it away. The other thing that's going on here is never always an easy solution or easy answer. The other thing that's going on here is that somehow in your family structure, for generations and lifetimes of women in your family, you've been made to feel that you're only really being a good wife, a good mother, a good friend, if you're totally self-sacrificing. And so as you start to take for yourself, your deep subconscious says, oh, I'm not allowed to do that because then I won't be a good person. So the only way I can receive, according to my family rule book, is by being sick. So what does your subconscious do? It creates the pattern of illness so that you can allow yourself to be receptive and you don't have to feel guilty about work, which is what everything has been leading up to all this time. Unmute her, Lisa. Did you understand what I was just telling you?
Yes, Sandy, you're absolutely right. Everything that you said, that's what it is.
And it's so important for you to really understand so that you can internalize that understanding and change the gestalt, change that subconscious part of yourself that thinks you've got to be sick to let yourself receive. Change the rules. Tell yourself this for your kids, for your family, for your people all around you in their family situation. Tell them and tell you, I'm changing the rule book here. We women don't have to be sick to receive. We can receive.
Absolutely.
We learn to receive because you love us and want to give to us and share with us. We can receive because we're great, wonderful people. We don't have to get sick to do it.
That's right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well,
thank you for your wonderful suggestions.
And I do know that you're going to heal. You're going to be better. One of the big things that's hanging over your head right now is that you're so afraid that since you can't work now that you're sick, that you're not going to have enough money to do the things that you really wanted to do. And you've got to take that fear out of heart also, because if you fear it, you're going to materialize it. And you need to take my webinar because it's all about how to do that. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sandy.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And do feel better, and feel better fast.
Thanks. I will.
Good girl. Lisa, who's next?
Alrighty, I'm going to go down here if I can find Christina. Christina, you are unmuted.
Well, hello.
Hey, Christina.
It's my name is Christina. Yes, I'm from upstate New York. I'm a Taurus, and I'm incredibly grateful for my life and that I still have one. And it's very interesting that you unmuted me after the last caller, because I recently went through, well, I'd say the last couple of years, some very serious health issues, and pretty much everything you said to her was stuff that I've come to realization for myself about all of that. And my question really is about moving forward from here. And I'm just now starting to come back into making a career. I do a lot of what you do, Sandy. And I guess my question is, am I physically ready to open up a physical location at this point? Do I have the strength physically, or should I continue to try to support myself online for a while?
You have the capacity to do both. I don't want to push you into a physical thing, because unless you know you're ready, you're going to do the same darn thing you did with your health, with your business. You see? So you
Right.
feel it yourself. But my guides are saying you're ready. You're ready. Now,
Awesome.
now I'm going to give you the Sandy advice. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I have, first of all, you obviously know a little bit about astrology as well. My guides are saying, yes, yes, she does. Well, I have a Cancer rising, and I have a Cancer on the second house in my chart, 2 houses with Cancer. So I am Miss Totally Frugal. Okay. So what I'm going to advise is that you go ahead and get yourself your location, but instead of, developing a whole big center initially, rent an office and put a telephone in it. So now you've got your phone work, but you've got the physical location too, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and then, and heck, you can even do what one of my friends does, and she rents an office in the back of a beauty parlor. Wow, that's like a perfect location because the women, go in to get their reading with her when they get them waiting to get their hair done. It's perfect. So,
That's interesting because my chiropractor is in with a hairdresser, and I think they have a space available.
well, this is one of those things where it's falling into place for you. And initially, most of your clients are probably going to be on the phone. So you still have your
Mm-hmm.
phone business, but as soon as you start to develop the physical business, then you'll say, okay, my physical clients are in the morning, or my phone clients are in the morning, and my physical clients are in the afternoon. And my guides are telling me that you're probably never going to cut the phone clients or the online clients out because frankly, it's so easy and familiar to you that it's a
Mm-hmm.
comfort. And why not have that staple that's comfortable that you can always
Mm-hmm.
go back to on a day that you don't feel so good and don't really want to see people? Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, you're up to the physical location, and I think that it's actually falling in your lap. You're just a little afraid of it.
Because, well, it's true. It has been a challenging few years, and I'm worried about trying to push myself too hard and then maybe having a setback, that sort of thing. So that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
And
Can I
I,
ask you something very personal? And it's okay for you to say "shut up, Sandy" before I go too far.
no,
But
that's okay.
I'm seeing a relationship issue here, and I really don't feel like the physical location or what I should do with my career is your biggest issue. I think the relationship is your biggest issue, and that you.
I'm not currently in a relationship.
What about the one that ended that didn't really end? Okay, think about that.
Um, I really have not been in a relationship for quite some time. The closest thing I can consider that would have been a relationship problem was that I had a friend who ended up being incredibly mentally unstable, and I had to cut that person out of my life, and they are an ongoing problem
Right, that's it.
on some level.
And
But I wouldn't consider that like not a romantic relationship.
right, but yeah, but it's not roman. It's funny. You can have a relationship that's almost as close as a marriage that's not sexual or romantic. Okay,
Right.
we women have those kinds of things with each other all the time. The thing is
Yes.
that this relationship needs to get the issues need to be resolved, and whether that and that's probably within yourself, because you've done the
Hmm.
external ending it, but the issues need to be resolved. There are loose ends with finance. There are loose ends with what ifs. There are loose ends with can I depend on this or is this going to happen again? There are those kinds of loose ends, and they are making you worry about getting sick again. And you're concerned about moving into a business space and a public space where you're going to be exposed, and you're concerned about that person coming forward or someone like them. So you've got to resolve.
Interesting.
That's
Yes,
that's a big
interesting.
stumbling block. Okay, and you're going to do very well financially. There's no issue here. Everything's going to fall into place for you. The big problem, as I said, is it's within you. It's because there are too many things that were unresolved about that. Maybe maybe you're just not sure what rabbit's going to pop out of the hat with this mentally unstable person in the future. So you have to figure the way that you're going to protect yourself against them, and
Hmm.
then you can let it go.
Well, luckily the person no longer lives anywhere near me. So, but yeah, I would say that there's still some unresolved, like inner emotional issues. Why did I let it get so bad? It's because it was that, the negative ego thinking that I could be strong enough for somebody else. And, that's something I've had to come to terms with, that, how ego can take over. Oh, I'm strong enough. I can handle this. You can't heal another person.
Well, and this one's, what you said before, how interesting that your call should follow my last call. You and she are having an extension of one another's.
Exactly.
What you had going on there really was psychic vampirism.
Yes.
And your illness had a great deal to do with that.
Yes, definitely.
And you're desperately, and with great understanding. I get it. You're concerned about making yourself that public, about maybe having to depend on people that, if you went into the back of that beauty parlor, you might have great support from friends, or they might turn out to be mentally unbalanced, you see.
Right.
So what you need to do is to sit down and plan your escape routes. It sounds a lot simpler than it is, but it really is. It's not. It's plan your escape routes. So yeah, you have a contractual obligation with them. You don't just have a room in the back. It's contracted. And if they do this behavior or that behavior, it all works out. You all pay your money. It's business. But if it doesn't, well, then you get to walk. Protect yourself. Create your escape routes. Am I making sense?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because we human beings are interesting. We do repeat cycles in our lives, and the more emotionally based the cycle was, the more likely we are to see it reappear in our lives. Maybe a different name, maybe a different shape, or a different place or situation or circumstance, but the same darn thing comes up over and over again because it's a lesson we're learning. Okay?
Oh yeah.
And the more emotionally attached we were to it, the more intense the lesson is. So plan ahead. Think it through. Plan your escape routes. And then you don't need to get that lesson again.
Right. Well, I can say that I've definitely got boundaries now that I never had before. It's that classic empath trap.
Yeah, but you didn't, and you haven't done the legal boundaries.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Heck, what sign did you say you were?
I'm a Taurus.
Right? And you haven't set the legal boundaries? That's because you're learning to be a Taurus, my friend. Okay? The ones who are allowed to do I don't have a contract and I can get away with anything, those are the Pisces. Taurians need contracts.
Yes. Yes. You need that stable foundation, yes.
Exactly. And you can use it to protect yourself and the other people involved, and then everything goes smoothly. Yeah.
Awesome.
You're gonna do fine. You really are. You're gonna do fine. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa, I've got time for one more.
All righty. And the lucky person is Jessica. Jessica, you are unmuted.
Hello, Jessica. I'm not hearing you, Jessica. You may be muted on your own side. I'm hearing a little scraping. Oh, there we are, I think. Nope, I can't hear you.
Hello?
There you are. Good. I knew you'd get it.
Hi, I didn't hear her say my name.
Ah, okay.
Waiting. And then I just looked and it was a green. Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you tonight?
I'm good. My name's Jessica. I'm calling from Akron, Ohio. Go Cavs, LeBron James. And I'm a Taurus, and I'm most grateful for my two kids, my two boys. My question is, how do I get past my self-doubt so I can continue on my path?
Well, we have Sandy's answer, and then we have Sandy's guide's answer. And I'm going to give you my answer first because it's much gentler. Okay? And my answer is practice. That the more people, I'm assuming you're already doing readings, you're already practicing on people. Yes?
Yeah, I have. I've actually taken a break. I've been like working on myself
Right.
more,
Well,
my inner self.
right.
So,
But so we've got two different kinds of how you develop the strength, the recognition that what I'm doing is right. And yes, working on yourself and all that self work is good. But the only way that you can get past the insecurity of doing readings on other people or doing work for other people is to do it. The only way you can truly get past it is to do it. I always tell my students when they get to the point where they're doing readings for others or doing any kind of work in the metaphysical field with other people, now's the time to go find a place maybe that has psychic fairs or that you can work out a part-time and do as many readings, do as much work with the public as you possibly can, because by doing it, you will push yourself past that fear factor, and your ego will become disconnected. If think about it, if I read one person, I'm really, really, really super concerned that I get every last little comment exactly right. But if I read 100 people, by the time I get to the 100th, it's like blah, 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 because I'm out of my own way. Do you see how that works?
yeah.
Okay.
Build up the confidence.
So you're going to build up your confidence. The best way to build it is to do it. And it's so hard initially to say, wow, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do this thing because you're getting started and you don't have that confidence yet. We all had to start somewhere. And the best advice that I can give you, this is Sandy's advice, the best advice I can give you is to say that all of us are going to make mistakes sometime. None of us are God. None of us are perfect. I believe that what my guides come in and give me information on is always accurate. But I do not, for one split moment, ever think that I'm going to interpret their information accurately all the time. I've got a lot of experience. I'm more accurate than most. Am I perfect? No. And the imperfection lies in me because I'm human, and that's okay because I like being human. You get it?
Yeah.
So you got to give yourself the right to be wrong. Not that you're planning on being wrong. You're going to do your absolute best. But if you fail once, you're just going to pick yourself up again, say, gee, I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. And you're going to do the next person, and then the next person, and the next person. And with experience comes the confidence. And by knowing you don't have to be perfect, you only have to do your best. Your best. Not what everybody else is expecting, but your best. Okay? If you do your best, you're going to knock them dead. You're going to be great. Now, that was what Sandy says. What my guides say is that you have got kind of an undermining family. In particular, there is a man in your family. I don't know if it's a husband, brother, father, but he has a way of kind of undermining your ability, your knowledge, your capability, and it's not for the reason that you might think. I think that he's a little insecure himself, and he thinks that if you're too secure, you might leave him, or you might not need him. So instead of letting him undermine you, just understand that he has a reason for wanting you to be dependent on him, and make him think you are, and then go out and set the world on fire, and it's okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. He actually just moved
Yeah.
with my boyfriend. 'Cause yeah.
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 It's really amazing that some people's insecurities tend to undermine other people. And what my guides are telling you is you don't have to let that happen, but be understanding. It's all done out of love, even though it might be misguided. Okay?
Right. Right. I see what you're saying. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you. I wish you well with all the wonderful things you've got coming up.
Thank you.
And folks, as we come to the ending of the psychic hour for June, I want to just remind you to make a note on your calendar that the next psychic hour, once again, is July 10th at 9 p.m. Please don't miss my webinar. It's going to be on the law of attraction, how you can use that law to create the life you've dreamed of, and that's on July 28th. It's $25 to get into that webinar. It's at 8 p.m. And if you really, really, really want to bring your psychic skills to the best level that you want them to be, if you want to be a psychic, if you want to just learn to use psychic ability better in your life to make more sense of things, well, I'm going to encourage you to take the Anastasi system of psychic development. It's online this summer. It starts July 6th and meets every week going right up through December. I will be with you personally every step of the way. You get online training, you get webinars, you get access to a chat room and a Facebook group, you get partners to work with. Last summer, I actually had a gal in Australia doing telepathy exercises, very accurately, I might add, with another girl in Belgium. And it was accurate, it worked, and both of them are doing great mediumship readings today. So I'm going to encourage everybody, if you want to develop your psychic skills, you don't have to wait for it to be financially accessible so you can come to the U.S. or to Tampa, Florida anymore. You can do it right online with me. Folks, thanks so much. I'll see you in a few weeks on the 10th. Have a great couple of weeks and enjoy the 4th of July. I love you all. Good night.